Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Taylor Jasmine, and today I will be presenting my business research project, Bridging the Skills Gap. Who's responsible for employee learning? In attendance today, we have Dan Mish. He is a lead aerospace program manager. We have Eric Arendowski. He is an aerospace program manager. We have Stan Miller. He is an aerospace quality engineer. And then we have Sarah Jasmine, and she's a medical recruiter. The problem we face as industries rapidly transform due to automation and emergent technologies, many employees are falling behind in the skills needed to remain competitive. Research shows that by 2027, 44% of all employees will require reskilling, yet only a fraction are currently engaged in continuous learning. This widening skills gap threatens both individual job security and overall business performance. This report explores the shared responsibility between employees and employers in addressing this challenge and building a culture of lifelong learning in the modern workplace. To understand the skills gap better, I combined primary and secondary research. I surveyed 30 professionals across industries with 20 questions about their confidence, training access, and learning motivations. For my research, I used trusted sources like World Economic Forum, McKinsey, SHRM, which is Society of Human Resource Management, LinkedIn Learning, and Multiverse to compare border trends to what employees are actually experiencing. Together, this gave me a full picture of the challenges and opportunities around reskilling. Now, let's look at why reskilling is so urgent and why this matters to both workers and businesses. Let's start with why reskilling is not just important, but it's urgent. According to the World Economic Forum's 2023 Future Jobs Report, 44% of core skills are expected to change by 2027. That means nearly half of the workforce will need capabilities to stay relevant, new capabilities to stay relevant. Even more striking, 60% of workers will need more training, but only half of those workers currently have access to training. In my own survey, many respondents said that they are not fully confident in their current skills at their current workplace. Most reported that their employees rarely offer training, and the biggest barriers to learning were lack of time, access, and motivation. This message is clear. People want to grow, but they're not getting the support they need. This disconnection is where the risk actually lies, not just for the workers, but for businesses too. Now let's look at how this skills gap is affecting company performance. The business impact of the skills gap. Now that we understand the urgency, let's look at what happens when companies don't act. McKinsey reports that 58% of companies have made skill building a top priority since the pandemic, and 69 are investing in upskilling their current workforce instead of hiring new talent. They're also emphasizing soft skills like leadership and adaptability because those are just as critical as technical skills. But in my survey, only about a third of employees felt their employer was truly committed to development. And most said they had to initiate the actual learning and development, not anyone from HR or their manager or anyone from management. On top of that, the people who did respond with that they were provided some training rated the actual training quality as very low. So while businesses say that they're investing in reskilling, employees don't often feel that support. And that disconnect, well, that may affect performance, retention, and morale. Training boosts engagement and retention. On our survey, we found that 84% of employers Employees are willing to engage in training if it's paid for and offered during company time. Research from SHRM supports this connection. They found that companies that invest in training see much higher employee retention. So training isn't just about developing skills. It's about strengthening loyalty and reducing turnover. Desire for growth. Let's wrap this up with one of the most important points. Employees are motivated to grow. They just need the support. LinkedIn Learning reports that 94% of employees would stay longer at a company that invests in their growth. That's a powerful stat, and it aligns perfectly with the survey that I sent out. In fact, when I asked how important LinkedIn or how important learning and development was, most people rated it 4 or 5 out of 5. That shows a strong internal drive to improve. So this isn't just about forcing people to learn. It's about creating the right environment where growth is encouraged, accessible, and valued. If companies can do that, they won't just close the skills gap, they'll build a more loyal, future-ready workforce. Now, to close out the presentation, let's focus on the general question. Who's responsible for solving the skills gap? The answer is both employers and employees are. This is a shared responsibility, and my research shows it very clearly. From my survey, it's clear that employees are willing and motivated. 84% that said that they would engage in training if it was paid and offered during work hours. Many rated learning and development as very important to them. So the drive to grow is already there. Employees recognize the need to reskill and are ready to put forth that effort when supported properly. But motivation isn't enough if companies don't provide the right environment. Employers have a major responsibility to remove barriers like time, costs, and access. They need to create structured, accessible learning systems and make development part of the daily culture, not just an optional add-on. From my secondary research, from my reports from the reports from LinkedIn Learning as SHRM shows that companies investing in development are more likely to retain employees, improve performance, and boost innovation. So to bridge the gap, companies should focus on 5 clear strategies that I've listed on this presentation. I believe making training accessible and paid to eliminate the cost and time barriers, adopt blended and flexible learning modules. This would meet employees where they would want to learn best. Train managers to lead development. Learning should be championed by leadership, not just HR. Customize development plans for each employee. I believe tailor learning to company goals and employee aspirations would probably be the best idea. And to create a continuous learning culture, right? Learning must be embedded in a daily work environment, not treated as just an occasional event. These steps are based on both primary feedback from employees and leading industry research. If employees are motivated and companies build the right systems behind them, then together we can close this skills gap and create more of an adaptable organizations that are prepared for both workers and businesses in the future. Alrighty, guys. Well, that is my business report. Thank you guys so much for joining in today, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Taylor. Bye.